Hello everyone, my name is Gabriel Neo. Welcome to today's tutorial regarding making an AI chatbot for beginners using Ollama, LangChain, Llama 3.2, and Deepseek-R1. First, we'll install and configure Ollama. Next, we'll create the Python virtual environment. After that, we'll install pip packages for Ollama, LangChain, Ollama, and Streamlit. Finally, we'll code the chat app. I'll show you how we can first make the chat app using Llama 3.2 LLM. After that, I'll show you how you can make some simple change to a different model. In this case, we'll use the model Deepseek-R1. Now, let's go to the browser. Okay, so we're gonna search for Ollama. Okay, so basically it's at ollama.com. We go to click on downloads. Then if we're using Windows, click on Windows. Then click on download for Windows. For my case, I already actually clicked on this and downloaded the Ollama setup file. So let's go to the download folder. Then I'll double click on Ollama setup to install it. Then I click install. Okay, so Ollama has finished installing. If you look at the bottom here, you see that there's a click on the system tray. You should be able to see there's Ollama here. If you right click on it, hang on, let me just make a bit of adjustments. Okay, so you click on it, you can see Ollama here. Right click on it, you can see you can view logs or you can quit Ollama. So hang on, just adjust this again. Okay, so now that Ollama has been installed, let's go back to the browser. We're going to configure Ollama. Before that, let's search for Ollama again in the browser. We go to github.com Ollama, right click, open link in new tab. We scroll down, we look for LLM or large language model that we want to use. In this case, let's use Llama 3.2, 3 billion, which will be 2 gig in size. So it's basically this Llama 3.2. So I can copy this, right click, copy. Then I search for PowerShell here, then click PowerShell. I type Ollama list to see that there's no LLM that has been downloaded yet. Ollama pull, right click to basically Ollama pull Llama 3.2 will actually download the file. Meanwhile, I don't need this. Okay, Llama 3.2 has been downloaded. Let's type Ollama this. You can see that it's now downloaded and available to use. Type Ollama run Llama 3.2 latest. Basically the name here, then press enter to run the LLM. Okay, if I type what is your name? Okay, I type by. And now I type Ollama PS to show that it's now running. So it's about 4 gig in RAM, in VRAM. So I don't need this, I can close this now. Okay, let's go back to here. Okay, now let's go to C drive. We right click on empty space, select new folder. We call this folder chat app. Go in, we click on the location tab, we press backspace to delete everything, then type command cmd, then press enter, which will open a command prompt. We're gonna make a Python virtual environment by typing python -m venv .venv, then press enter. Okay, the Python virtual environment has been created. Okay, now that the Python virtual environment has been created, I'm going to activate the Python virtual environment. I venv scripts-activate.bat. Enter. So I know that the Python virtual environment has been activated because the name or the folder name which the Python virtual environment is stored in is now shown in brackets in the prompt. So now I can install the required pip packages. So install pip install Ollama, and also pip install LangChain Ollama, pip install LangChain, pip install Streamlit. Okay, so all the pip packages have now been installed. Type code dot to open VS Code in the using this the current folder as the project folder. Press enter. Okay, then I'll close this. Okay, now we need to view the terminal, so let's click on view terminal. So we don't want the PowerShell one, so we go to drop down list here, then we select command prompt. So when we select command prompt, you'll see that you got the bracket .venv, that means the Python virtual environment is activated. So now we don't need PowerShell, we just go hover over it and then click the dustbin to kill it. Okay, so we just want a command prompt. Now we go to here, we select new file, we call a new file app.py and press enter. Okay, now I'm going to show you code for the most basic version of a chatbot. So you just need to import OllamaLLM. So we load the local LLM. The model is Llama 3.2. We can verify by going to the terminal and type Ollama list. Actually, list just shows you what's the available one. The most important one is Ollama PS, which shows you what is actually running. So in this case, what's actually running is Llama 3.2 latest. You can either use Llama 3.2 in this case, or we can, if we want to be very safe, we can use the actual full name that's written here. So we just latest Llama 3.2 latest, exactly as written when we type Ollama space PS. Okay, then we save, Ctrl S to save. Okay, let's run this by typing python app.py, then press enter. So what happened is the LM with the model of Llama 3.2 latest is loaded. Then we will ask a question and type human colon. So then the value of this question will be stored in the variable question. If we didn't type done, D-O-N-E, then we will just continue looping. If we type done, then it will escape and the loop will stop. So if we didn't type done, it will throw the value of the question that we asked it, invoke lm.invoke, and then you will put the response from the LM or AI and store in this response here, and then you print out this response with AI colon space and then plus, you show the response. So I'll type, what is the largest ocean on Earth? And say Pacific is the largest. Then let me ask, what is the next largest? So it says it doesn't know, it needs more context. It doesn't know what I mean by when I say next largest. The reason why is because actually by default, LLMs can be considered stateless. That means they don't have memory. They by default won't remember a question that you asked it previously. So ChatGPT and other web services, they actually implement behind the scenes some kind of implementation so that they will have memory. So this is the simplest example which doesn't have memory. So I'll show you now how we can make it have memory. So let's just type done to exit. Okay, now I show you some different code which actually help implement memory. So now we add 2 more lines. We will import human message and AI message, and we'll also import chat prompt template and messages placeholder. So we still load the LLM, still llama 3.2 latest. We will add this variable called chat underscore history. We will assign it an empty list. We will make a prompt, chat prompt template dot from messages, which will have three tuples in it. The first tuple will have system, comma, you are helpful AI bot, you answer questions concisely. Then the second one is a messages page placeholder, which we'll later use to store the verbal chat underscore history. And then we got a human one that will store the variable input. Okay, so basically the output of prompt will become the input for LLM, and then the resulting object will then be assigned to a chain. Okay, so this is pretty much the same. The only difference is that instead of using LLM to directly invoke the question, we will instead use the chain to invoke it. And we will put separate into, so we'll use a dictionary. So it will have 2 elements in this dictionary. The first element will have the key of input. The second element will have the key of chat underscore history. So these keys are important. So this key input corresponds to this input here. This key chat history will correspond to this variable here. So the value of question, which will be will get the value of the question that's assigned to it, will then be assigned to human, which makes sense because the human asked the question. Then chat history will be is where we store the history, which is what will give the chatbot the memory. So chat.history, chat underscore history dot append human message, which will have the content equals to question, which makes sense because the human is asking the question. Well, then we also use chat history to we also append to chat history the AI message, which will have the content of response, which will be the response that is generated by the AI. So we will again print out the response of the AI. So let's run this. We type Python app.py and then press enter. So I ask it again, what is the largest ocean on Earth? So say the Pacific Ocean, then I ask what is the next largest. Because it now has memory, because we provide it with the chat history, so it knows that previously we asked about what is the largest ocean, and then it replied the largest ocean was Pacific. So now it knows the context that when I say what is the largest, it knows that what I'm referring to is what is the largest ocean, next largest ocean. So it says the next largest or second largest is Atlantic, which is correct. So this is how you implement memory for a chatbot. Okay, now type done. Okay, next I'll show you how we can change this into a web app instead using Streamlit. Okay, now I'll show you another set of code. It's mainly the same except we add a few more lines of code. So one, we import Streamlit as st, and the code that previously was not in a function, we now put in a function. The code that loads the LLM and creates the prompt and the chain. So, and now we will, instead of we'll comment out the chat history, we won't initialize chat history here. Instead, we'll pass it chat history, and we also pass it the user query. So the prompt is still the same. This part is still the same as before, no change. It's still chat underscore history, the variable, and still the variable input for human. Okay, what has changed is that we will now return stream, chain.stream. Okay, so rather than use chain.invoke, we use chain.stream, because chain.invoke, if we use chain.invoke, then we will need to wait for the AI to generate the entire response before it will show any output. But if you use chain.stream and with the appropriate stream function, we can show the words as they are generated, a stream of words as they are generated. So rather than wait for the entire response to be generated before anything is shown, so by using stream, we can see the stream of tokens or words that is generated as they are generated. This is more user-friendly. You see the example later, then you understand better. So basically the only difference is instead of chain.invoke, we'll use chain.stream. So input is still the same, chat history is still the same. Okay, so previously we used question, now we use user query. It actually does not matter. What you use here doesn't really matter. What is the most important thing is the key here. So key here, input is still correct. The key here, chat_history, chat underscore corresponding this chat underscore history is still correct. So the key on the left here is what is the important thing. Okay. If you use question here, then you just use question here, and you can use question here if you want. Yeah. What's most important is the input here. The input here is the key is the same, matches what is shown in the prompt. So user query will be passed to it. So the value of user query will become the input. So human will have the value of the user query or question here, while chat history will then be placed here under chat history. So this has been commented out because it's now replaced by appropriate Streamlit functions and commands. So Streamlit will put the title of chatbot. This is where we initialize the history. So if messages is not in the Streamlit.session state, then Streamlit.session state.messages equals to empty list. So this is where we initialize the chat history, which is, in this case, we call it messages. So for each message in the messages, we will check if the instance, basically if this message is a human message, we will make it with st.chatMessageHuman, and then we will ust.markdown to show the content of this human message. If we detect that this instance is an AI message, then we will put st.chatMessageAI, and then we will show this content of this AI, of this message from AI. So because we chat underscore message say human, so later we'll see that the symbol will be a human symbol. When we use chat underscore message bracket at AI, then we'll see a symbol that represents AI. You will understand this better when I run the Streamlit app, and then you see the symbol for yourself. Okay, so Streamlit.chat input will ask what is up. Then when whatever value or question we enter here, the value will be stored under user underscore query. Like I said, we could call this question instead of user query. It doesn't matter. Okay, so if we call this instead of user query, we call it question, then here also must call it question. Here must also call it question. Here must also call it question. Also call this question, and so on. Okay, but in this case, we just use user underscore query. So if user underscore query is not none, and it's also not an empty string, then we know it's a valid question that's been entered. Then we'll append the message, append this human message with content equal to the user query, or that means the question that we give it, the user asked question that we give it. Append this human message to messages, basically the history, the chat history. Then with st.chatMessage human, so we will show that this is human. So we will display this the question, okay, on markdown. Then we will show that this is AI. We will later write, we will use Streamlit to write to stream the stream. So this will call the get underscore AI underscore response, which is here previously the function that we made. So we pass it the user query, which is the question that the human asks, and we also pass it st.session_state.messages, which is essentially the chat history. So yeah, user query, chat history. Okay, then this will generate a stream. So we use st.writeStream, then we put the stream here. This will generate the complete response in the end. And so at the end, we will append the AI message, which has the content equals to the full response. Okay, so now let's run this. Type Streamlit run app.py. Okay. Oh yeah, sorry. Let me change this to latest. Okay, let me save. Control S to save. Okay, then let's run Streamlit space run app.py. Okay, we ask what is the largest ocean on Earth. So yeah, this is streaming in action. So it just shows. Yeah. Okay, so we ask what is the next largest to verify that it has memory. And it says the Atlantic Ocean is the second largest. It knows when I say what is the next largest, it knows what it means. What is the next largest ocean on Earth, because it remembers, it has memory of the previous messages or previous questions and response it gave. Okay, so let's go back to the code. Okay, let's click on the terminal and then press Ctrl C to stop the Streamlit app. Let's close this. Okay, go back to VS Code. Okay, so now I'm gonna just show you that you can very easily change the LLM that you use. So how do we do that? Let's go to the browser. Let's search for Ollama Deepseek. Okay, so ollama.com, search, right click, open link in new, then we click Deepseek -R1. Okay, okay, let's use Deepseek R1:7B. Okay, so Deepseek -R1:7B. Okay, we can actually directly just use this terminal, Ollama PS. You see that it's still using Llama 3.2. We type Ollama list. We see the only LLM that is there available now is Llama 3.2. So let's stop the current LLM. So we type Ollama stop Llama 3.2 latest. We press enter. We type Ollama PS. We see that there's no more that LM is no longer running. We type Ollama list. We can see it's still available. So now we type Ollama pull, then right click to paste Deepseek -R1:7B, then press enter. So we do this to basically so that we tell it to download the Deepseek LLM. So it's 4.7 gig. So this may take a while, so I just pause it for a while and I'll resume once we finish download. Okay, so Deepseek has finished download. So we type Ollama list. We can see now Deepseek is one of the available LLMs that have been downloaded. Type Ollama PS. We see there's no running LLM at the moment. So what we do is type Ollama run. And we select this, click, then right click again to paste. So we type Ollama run Deepseek -R1:7B to run the LLM. Type /by, type Ollama PS. So we can see that yes, it's running. So it's using a bit, some of it is using the CPU, some of it is using the GPU, because it's my GPU is a bit small, the VRAM, so it'll be a bit slower. If your computer is the GPU is better, then it will run a lot faster, but it will still run. Okay, so let's comment this up. We copy and paste. We change the name from Llama 3.2 latest to Deepseek -R1:7B, the name of the LLM that's currently running. Then we save this by pressing Ctrl S to save. Okay, now let's run Streamlit, run app.py, and press enter. Okay, I'll type what is the largest ocean on Earth. Okay, note this will be a bit slower. One, because it's my hardware is a bit limited. It's only my GPU is only 1060, only got 6 gig of VRAM. It's about 10 years old, so yeah, I have to be a bit patient with it. We're going to speed up the rest of this video for the first response by about 10 times because it took about 2 minutes for it to run on my machine. If it takes more than a few seconds to run on your machine, I suggest use a smaller LLM like the Llama 3.2 billion parameters, which also I use on my machine just now, and you saw it just took a few seconds to run. So we will resume normal speed after the first response has finished. Yeah, ask what is the next largest. We're going to speed up the rest of this video also by about 10 times. We'll resume normal speed after this response has completed. So I finally give the answer. So that's it. Now you know how to change to different LLMs if needed. Okay, so let's just close this by pressing Ctrl C. And that's it. You now have your own AI chatbot running with Ollama, LangChain, and Streamlit. Got questions? Drop them in the comments. I'd love to help. Like this video? Hit the like button to support the channel. Want similar tutorials? Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.